Don't waste your breath. That's what I'm calling this. There comes a point where you're wasting your breath when you're trying to communicate with people who have no understanding of the times we are in. They may say they do, but you know by their lack of understanding, comprehension, by the blank look in their eyes. Or sometimes they'll just say, I really don't know what you're talking about. So don't waste your breath. Don't waste your time in your breath, and don't let, how should I put it? Don't risk your heart pouring yourself out, your miseries, your circumstances, your sorrows to someone who doesn't care, to the cold hearted. And wow, they are legion now. I finally put something, it probably finally clicked in my mind. I was treated very coldly by someone today, which, is not surprising. But I didn't know if he'd had this. But I remember asking about it, if he had, and he never responded. And there was such a coldness in him. And I think it's connected to that. I really do. But the problem is because so many have gotten that, they've down another path. And who's more cold-hearted than Satan? Think about it. So that's a very expected trait, a very expected characteristic to show up in people because of this. And that's why they're acting out on airplanes and acting crazy, not just on airplanes and WalMarts and gas stations and you name it. I've stopped looking at the TikTok videos, but they'll tell you, they'll tell you some stories about how people are changing. So don't waste your breath. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your emotions. Don't waste your energy. Because unless you know where someone is on their walk with Jesus, you might as well not even share the things that matter with them. You may have to do business with them. You may have to do trivial things, but don't pour out your heart. I learned the hard way again. I thought this person was, on the same wavelength. No, no, and don't do it. Just, this is why I share a lot of things so people don't make the same mistakes that I do and end up in shock or in misery or sad even. Just like I said yesterday, we can't have expectations less so now than ever before because the people that have given into this are the people that have, even if they haven't done this, are going the way of the world. You can't communicate. They've chosen, you see. They've made their choice. So whether or not they've had this or not is sometimes not even important. They've made the choice, and you know the choice they've made because they're hell bent on it. And they want you to come along. No, thank you. No. See, that's the other thing I wanted to share in this video. Know where you stand and stand for what you stand for. What I mean is, if you know you're right, don't let someone try to tell you're bad. You're bad. It's all on you. You're being all emotional, or you're being this, you're being that. They'll do it. They'll tell you, and try to make you feel guilty, especially if they, like me, they know that I'm somewhat scrupulous, and they play on that. Just be careful of their pride. I was accused of pride today, and I wasn't being prideful. I know when I'm being prideful. This is my whole point. You know when you're sinning. You know when you're being prideful. You know all these things because he shows it to us. Those who are close in their walk with Jesus don't get away with anything. We don't get it. He shows us like this, and we better change like that too. See, he gets impatient, doesn't he? So I don't need you, who are on a whole different path than me, telling me about my pride and this and that. I could see it for myself. So all I'm saying is that's not a lack of humility. That's just honesty. They might have something they need to look at in themselves, always pointing the finger. I have that all the time in my family. Oh, you. No. I know when I'm bad. You know when you're bad. So be firm is what I'm saying is if they're right, you'll recognize it right away. If they're wrong, you'll know it right away. And stand firm. Stand firm for the truth because truth is humility.